Hi guys, happy Friday. Welcome to Design Exchange. I'm your host, Danny Russo, and we are actually here in person with Melinda, Peters, Elliott. We haven't gotten to record one of these together in real life in a long time.
Yeah, I know.
We've been working with the Zoom.
Yes, it's been good. It's been good that we learned that technology because I've used it with clients, but what a different kind of world we're living in now.
Yes.
And
So
it's okay. It's okay. We've all learned
just
something.
different. Yeah, we learned a lot.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. But
We
it's
learned a
been
lot.
good.
So today we're going to talk about the value of having an interior designer and the value of hiring an interior designer.
That's right. Yeah.
And the most important thing, if we're going to talk to designers about this, is to know your value.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a client that's watching this, the important thing that you're going to take away from this is why you should hire an interior designer.
That's right.
And we're going to explain those reasons in just a few seconds, right? It's so weird.
It's so weird, I know.
Usually you're like somewhere and I'm somewhere.
That's right.
I mean,
my gosh. It's been fun to reconnect and do this in person though. I was really looking forward to it. I said I need some Danny time today. So
and you got it.
Let's do it. Let's have some Danny time.
And of course nothing goes as planned because we have carpet cleaners around us. We have our lives going on. Everything's been crazy.
That's right. It's been a crazy day actually with the office and just kind of carving time out to do this for everybody. But we really do like to podcast, and I
love it. We love talking to you guys.
This is really important. We've had so many people, so many of you have said, "When are you guys going to do another podcast?"
Yeah, make sure you follow. Make sure you follow our Facebook group. It's called the Design Exchange.
Yes.
And we read it and we take your questions and try to get them answered.
That's right.
So today we're going to talk about the value of an interior designer. And we're going to start with the difference between a decorator and a designer.
Yes.
And there's a third one that's been thrown in there, and it's called a design consultant. So, what is an interior designer?
Well, it's someone that actually will come to your home in person and measure the space with a real measuring tape.
Or a laser.
And then you get to pick real accessories, and you might even get to see samples in person.
Yes. And we design things.
In your home.
And we also do construction.
That's right.
So a lot of decorators do not do that. I was just on the phone with a vendor yesterday, and he was selling fireplaces.
Oh,
and
right.
Fireboxes, outdoor fire pits, outdoor heaters. And I told him that I'm one of the only designers that knows what a BTU is and a PSI and all that kind of stuff.
Right. A lot of
decorator won't know
designers
that.
are going to have some sort of an education, like whether they've been trained by. There are all these different places that we can get training now.
Yes.
It's not just college. So, and actually, I think you get more holistic education if you don't go through a college or a university, but going through like a interior designer taught class.
Yes.
So Debbie Daly has one.
We love Debbie.
And there are so many people that have classes.
And now, going back to what I had just said, I was on the phone with this guy, and he told me that he works with decorators in California, and a decorator told him that they just make pretty work.
Oh.
And I was like, well, that's funny because the back of our shirts say making pretty happen. I go, but we also know about construction. We know building codes. We know fire codes. We know everything you can possibly know about LED lighting. We know how to podcast.
Yes.
Just
oh, gosh.
So your decorator, not that that's a bad thing, they're going to be very superficial and they're only going to specify out furniture.
Yeah, and
they
some
may do wallpaper.
Don't even order the stuff for you. I mean, they'll tell you what to get, and then it's on your own, to get that. So,
and then there's something in our industry that's popped up a lot lately called a design consultant. And a design consultant is somebody who works for the furniture store or works for the builder, and their job is to just guide you and make your decisions, but they only have so much to work with.
Yeah.
If they're an in-store designer that's, let's say, Restoration Hardware, Pottery Barn, I had to think about how to say it.
Yeah, I know. Say it right.
Crate and Barrel, they have design consultants. Those design consultants can only sell you things that store carries.
That's right. And it can be very limiting.
Very limiting.
You will not get a very holistic design when you are using just a designer from one place. And I know a lot of people go, well, I love everything in this store. I love this look. Well, that's great, but not every store has a thing for everything you need. I don't know how else to say that.
They don't have a qualified person.
Right.
And now I'm going to share a story with you on a job that I'm working on. And this client went to Restoration Hardware and worked with a design consultant.
Okay.
That person did not go to the house to measure.
Right.
So I had gotten hired between that person and the furniture delivery. So when the furniture showed up, it didn't fit through the front door.
Oh. Yeah, that's
because
a
the
big
design
no-no.
consultant didn't take into consideration
They don't really
Restoration
care.
Hardware sells oversized pieces.
Yeah.
And they didn't take into account how to get the furniture through the front
And a
door.
lot of times they're not even trained to think that way. So we're trained
They don't
to
think
like that.
think that way. But
I've got a double vanity. We have to get up a set of stairs and around the corner into a bathroom, and I'm thinking about how are we going to get that in the house
immediately.
and
Immediately, that's
it's-
what we think of.
yeah,
and
so-
the way, if you're doing a project on your own, the way to know, do you know the way to figure out if it's going to fit?
you measure.
Instead of measuring long way, you have to think outside the box.
Right.
So instead of measuring a door height and width, you want to measure diagonally. So if you're measuring diagonally, that will give you more information
Oh, yeah.
of whether it's going to fit up.
Yeah.
And then if it's new construction, it's going to be ADA compliant, so that's going to have a 36-inch door. So
And
we
a
know
lot
that,
of-
but a lot of clients don't have new construction,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
makes a big difference.
Yeah, and it does. And a lot of pieces of furniture and things you can take the legs off of, but there are only like we
No,
know
that's not true, because
we know
I-
the things
yes.
that can and then the things that you can't take the
Yes.
legs off
But
of.
we've
so,
taken doors off hinges. I've moved sofas in through windows.
That's right. I mean,
We've
there's
been doing this for 20 years.
people
so we know
lifting,
things.
things from the sidewalk. You live in a condo, so you lifting them off the sidewalk and through the back door is another one.
Exactly.
But, it's very different between what a designer can do, a decorator can do, and a consultant. And then there's another one, Danny. There's the virtual design consultants. So that really never even see your space, really. And then they're
If you want
using.
to call me and give me your money and want me to just do a little video call with you, and I'll place things and you
I'll
want
do
to
you a mood
measure,
board.
we'll be happy to do
I'll
that
do
for
you
you.
a little mood board.
But we're really
stuff.
personal, and we really tailor our service to the clients.
That's right.
And a lot of people are afraid of the word interior design. They automatically think it's going to be expensive.
Right.
And that's not true.
No, it's not.
So, do you want to explain why that's not true?
Well, it's because, what are you thinking? I mean, I can
when
feel
I'm
like.
doing it, I bring the value of my experiences, and I've learned from all the mistakes I've made over my career, and I take into account building code. I know about building code. Oh my God. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Well,
went
why
from virtual
is
design-
it important? Why are we not expensive?
Oh, so we get you things that you won't have access to. A decorator can take you to a store and they'll get a 20% discount, and oh my God. But what they don't tell you is that piece of furniture has been marked up times 3. So when I'm shopping with my clients, I let them know that they're getting stuff for anywhere between 10 to 85% off of the retail price.
Yep.
So we don't know what that could mean. I'll do it. So a lot of times you don't know what that will mean. But we work with so many different vendors. We work with the same exact vendors as our house, Pottery Barn, Crate and
Restoration
Barrel,
Hardware,
Restoration Hardware, did I say West Elm
West
right?
Elm, Walmart,
Walmart,
Target.
Amazon, Target.
We
But
actually know all the vendors that
Yeah.
are selling to all of these stores. So,
Wayfair.
yeah,
And
TJ
what's that other
Maxx,
one?
Home Goods.
No, Home Goods, but there's another one. So actually, Overstock.com is changing their name to Bed Bath & Beyond.
Okay.
And
Oh, I thought Bed Bath & Beyond was
they went out of
becoming
business,
Overstock.
but they bought the name.
Oh, okay.
Overstock bought the name.
Okay, yeah.
So we work with all of the vendors that they go to, and we get the pricing to be significantly less than
Yeah.
what you would pay
Yeah.
in a retail store.
Yeah.
Now, how do we do that? Because we go to market.
Because we go to market,
and we develop relationships.
We have friends all over the world who know everything. And so if we need to connect with something about some kind of a product or some kind of company, we can just call a friend.
Yeah.
We know who to call. We know who to talk to.
I can
that's
identify
the value of the relationships that we establish on our own. And we also have a lot of reps, and our reps will tell us things like this too, which brings us into another thing that, when you hire an interior designer, we are relying on a whole community of people to help us do things
from
for
logistics
you. And
to movers to receiving to refinishing.
That's right.
It's
We have
lot.
an extensive amount of people, a network behind us. And when you're doing this on your own and you don't do it every day, you don't know all the ins and outs, and you don't know what you don't know. So what we do is we bring this to the table and make the best situation happen for you.
Yes.
And just like Danny said, he's making pretty happen. We make pretty happen. We elevate your space. We give you something that you're not going to see in anybody else's home, because we want you to be unique. You're a unique personality. You have a different fingerprint than anybody else in the world, and your home should reflect you, not my taste or your neighbor's taste. So
we lost
our light.
But anyway, I think we'll be good.
Yeah.
Anyway, 90% of furniture comes in damaged.
Yeah.
So why does that happen?
Well,
a lot of people don't realize that furniture, it's not made to be moved. And I remember my mother telling me this, and I hate even making that reference, but I remember a salesperson telling her that years and years ago, that furniture's not meant to be moved. And that's very true. So the furniture typically comes from overseas. So it has to leave the factory on a truck, which gets jostled around, going over who knows what kind of roads. And then that truck unloads onto another truck. And that truck then goes to the shipping yard, which is the ocean freight.
Yeah.
Then it gets loaded from a crane onto a boat. And then it has to cross an ocean.
And then we went on a cruise, and
we know how that you can be
go.
jostled around. So then when the ship gets to port, the container's picked up by a crane, it's moved all around and dropped onto a truck. That truck gets unloaded at a factory and gets put onto another truck. That truck gets put onto another truck, then it ends up at our receiving house. And it typically comes in damaged.
Oh, almost all the time.
When it comes in to America, they're usually touching it up somewhere, and then when it comes to us, it's getting touched up before it gets to us. And if it gets to our vendor and we have damage, we have to file a claim.
Yes, and we have to take a picture, and we have to email it.
Pictures of the box, pictures of the piece, pictures of the damage. We have to determine whether it can be fixed or whether it has to be replaced.
That's right.
And we have some great people that work with us that handle all of this for us, but a claim can take up to 8 months to get settled, and that's something that we've already paid for, or we're putting ourselves out there just to ensure that you're getting the correct piece.
And a lot of furniture is coming flat on a pallet, and it has to be built. Some companies will bring it in on a pallet from overseas. They'll build it on site, like in the US, and then send it to us. Other pieces are going to come to us flat that we have to build, and that's a big savings of price, but somebody's got to put it together, whether it's me. That I've gotten surprised. I've been surprised, like some things come in on a pallet, and I didn't realize that was going to happen. So I was sold it to the client. I got to put it together, and we've been
I don't know where you're ordering furniture from, but mine's
vanities, like
I've never had a flat pack. It's called flat packing. But I've never had a flat pack piece.
Some things come in from Home Depot, and
if you're getting cabinets, I know sometimes those will come like that.
Those vanities are not always, and a lot of times they're coming in, they're broken. So we have like all of these issues with like returning, and we went through 4 vanities for one customer.
Yeah.
And when I finally told her what it was happening, she was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know how I would have ever dealt with that."
And then a lot of people, a lot of vendors don't want to take the things back They don't want to
Right.
issue another ticket to have
Yep.
to pay for shipping to
Yep.
get things back
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
And
So
it's like, we
it's
got to get another
it
one.
can be
And then we have to
very,
figure
very
out how
hard.
to dispose of the bad piece.
Yeah,
Where's that go?
we've had tons of problems with mirrors coming in with a scratch or coming in broken. Like, you know, it's just insane. And my staff is just like, oh my gosh, we're on the third mirror and it's still broken.
And that's why we have some great reps that we work with that will expedite items out to us.
Yes.
If it does come in broken, they
Yeah.
end up getting us the proper piece
Yeah.
again. But
So-
sometimes that happens, and
Right.
sometimes it comes in broken again.
Again, right.
And I actually had a vendor, and I will not name names, but I actually had a vendor send me a piece and it was broken. They sent me out a replacement piece, it was broken again. They refused to send me out another one because they realized that they had a packaging issue with the vendor. So they ended the relationship with wherever they were getting that furniture from.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing.
And the return process can get so complicated, and you don't see all the work that goes in behind the scenes with us getting that
And
return.
that's what our staff is doing, you know.
Yes.
And they know, they've got the heartbeat of like when it's coming in, when is it? Well, we've gotten updates like, oh, it's in the shipyard, like
we have
online.
we have a new one. We talked about it before on the podcast. We used to
Landed.
have ordered, landed
Yeah.
at the warehouse
Yeah.
or at our receiver.
Yeah.
And then over the pandemic, we had a new shipping status called
Floating
on the water.
or on the water.
Which on the water sometimes means that it's coming over.
Yeah.
But this meant
It was-
waiting on the water
Yeah.
because there's nobody to unload the ships.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think there was a shipping strike or
Yeah,
something
there
at
was
the
a
time.
freighter. There was a Freightliner like shortage too, because all of the Freightliners were in California waters, like floating with all of this this product, and then they couldn't unload it and go back and get more. So you had like this shortage of that. So
So the value of having an interior designer is that we're working the back ends like that.
yes, and who has time for this? I mean. And I don't know about you, Danny, but it's like everywhere. You cannot do anything in this life right now that's easy.
No.
Nothing is easy anymore. So you need our help. We are like your home assistant,
We're your
home
agent.
design,
We're your agent.
HR. Yeah.
We're your agent working to get the things
Yeah,
here when
yeah.
they need to get here.
And nobody has time for this stuff. You know, it's just, we are there to help. And that's why, I mean, I love my job. Has it gotten challenging? Yeah,
Yes.
it's been very, very challenging. But we rely on our reps
And
who
that's the
have
value
been amazing.
of having
you
a
know?
designer is the value of our network. Our network of vendors, our network of sales reps, our network of other designers to find the things that we need at the price that's reasonable for a client.
That's right.
So there's a very big falsehood about interior designers.
Very much.
And-
And a lot of people think that we sit around all day and eat bonbons and order furniture and then go see people and, you know.
That's not how it is.
So another layer of all of this is 2D and 3D design. And that has really, really helped our industry amazingly in the last year or
Yes.
two. We're able to do 3D design, and those are certain kind of programs that we pay good money for to have
Subscriptions
that.
on top of subscriptions on
And
top of subscriptions.
I'm telling you, it gets very pricey. So, and
But it
that's
does help
something
the clients
that
visualize.
helps totally understand.
And
a lot of-
how many are you using right now?
We're doing
I'm on
three.
different.
Three.
I'm on three different
Three
ones, and
platforms.
no one platform works
can do everything
we need it to
nope,
do.
Nope, exactly. And more people are asking for more visualization.
And we're getting there. Like this-
Actually, I have 4 because I have a window treatment one.
oh God.
Gosh, it's crazy. So, but yeah, it is absolutely nuts. And what I pay monthly or yearly for these subscriptions to have this for my clients. But it's huge. It is so helpful.
And you're getting access to all of our tools and resources that we have, and that's another thing that gives the value in design. So you're really saving money when you do hire
really
an
do.
interior designer, because you're getting things at a better price. You're getting things that are planned out better.
Yeah.
You're getting the visualizations of the things in your space with your paint colors, with
Yes.
your tile selections,
Yes.
with your carpeting, And a lot of people don't realize we
Yeah.
specify everything down to where the electrical outlets go, the baseboards, the door casings. There's
Yeah.
so many minute details
And-
that we handle.
You know, I can't tell you how many clients have ordered sectionals that are too big, that take
Yes.
up the entire room, because they have no idea like what size is and things like that. You go
Especially
into
the quality.
Yeah.
They don't know.
And
Like,
the
if you're
quality.
shopping for price, you will get what you pay for.
Oh, totally.
And it's been value engineered. If you're getting it at a big box store, they have value engineered that piece of furniture
Yeah.
to fit X amount of pieces, as much as they could, onto one container to get it to the United States. And it ends up being very low quality.
How many times, this has happened to a couple clients of mine. They order a chair. They go on Etsy, they go on Amazon, and you order a chair. And not really paying too much attention to what the size of the chair is. I've had clients call me and say, I ordered a chair and it came in and it could fit in my hand. It was a little tiny doll chair. I mean,
That's because they paid
size-
attention to the price and they didn't look at the details.
Yes. So, and that's what we're trying to see.
Materials are very important too. Like when they're covering your sofa or whatever they're going to cover it in, they value engineered that. So the cheaper the product, the less it's going to last. The
Yep.
fabric's not going to hold up.
Yep.
And it's just, you're going to
Yep.
end up buying a new one in 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
So why not have an expert like one of us come in and tell you
Yeah.
what the quality is, because we've seen, touched, and felt
Yeah.
it. And showrooms, we don't really have them around anymore.
Right.
And that's why we go to markets and she sends me, and but
That's
I
right.
get to see things in person, and you can't really do that these days.
No. And
And-
I want to touch on window treatments because that's my specialty. But when you are ordering ready-made window treatments and they are coming in, you don't really get a good lining. A lot of times the top of the window treatment is very like not very set. The
No.
fabric color that you see online is not what it looks like in person. That is huge. And we've had something happen, very recently, that it looked like one color and then
I could tell you
someone
for a
was-
fact that there is a company that we order from a lot, and they were selling a chair, and they were selling it in a linen, like a lighter color, and they were selling it in a gray. So I saw the chair in person at one of my vendors. The chair was not gray at all. It was straight up blue,
Oh, wow.
but they called it gray.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, there's nothing gray about this.
No.
This is straight up blue.
Yeah.
So
Color names are very tricky too. So yeah, very tricky. You can
Yes.
see something online and it'll call it, blues and grays are kind of hard to determine.
Yeah.
Very, very much so. But
gray's a chameleon color.
Yep.
It picks
Yep.
up what's around it.
but also
And that's another reason why you need a designer to pick out your
Yeah.
colors, because you could say gray, and we're not really doing a lot of grays anymore, but you have green gray, red gray, blue gray.
Right.
And gray's a chameleon color. It'll
Yep.
pick up what's around it.
Yep.
It depends on the lighting in the space.
Yeah, but it can make or break. I mean, that is something that's
Color's
huge.
very important.
Yeah.
And color is
yeah.
actually one of the last things you should pick out is your paint.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think everybody understands that, value of design. I think people have underestimated this because companies are trying to make a dime, trying to make extra money on the side. And they're trying
all about
to,
their bottom line.
Yeah, and they're trying to add value to whatever they're doing, but they're cutting it off at the knees. And
That's
it
value.
is-
That's value engineering.
Yeah.
And we see builders do that. Construction companies do that. And they're telling you it's going to look like this, but at the end of the day, they're wanting their profits to be what they are.
Yep.
And they will value engineer something, and you're not going to get a good quality product.
No.
And that's why having a designer, we know what's good, what's bad, what's junk, what's
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And, I designed to try to keep this interior going for, 10, 20 years.
I do timeless elegance.
And that's the thing, like I'm always trying to help my client. Whatever I'm getting them to purchase, that it is lasting a long time, like blinds, for example. You can order a blind online that it would probably last 2 months.
I know.
You pay $39.99 for that blind, and next year you're going to be replacing it, and the year after that, and the year after that. Where my blinds are going to last for like 10, 15, 20 years and have a warranty if a string breaks. So, I mean, you just don't hear about that stuff as much. So.
And then if you have a warranty claim and you don't have a designer to call, I've had that happen with higher end pieces, and I work for my clients. Even if it's a piece I sold them 3 years, 4 years, 5 years ago, I'm still there to help them through the process.
Absolutely.
And we're going to talk about, in our next podcast, we're going to talk about the design process.
That's right.
And how that can save you money by just pure planning.
That's right.
So the value of a designer, we're invaluable.
That's right.
Is that right? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Invaluable.
And we're getting paid to do that, but it is a value added thing that you just can't replace. It's not replaceable to have that one-on-one, our eyes in your space, to see what you have and see how your family lives. Nobody else is going to do that for you. So hire us. Let us help you. And Danny has his own business. I have mine, and it's just.
We have two totally different aesthetics.
Yeah,
as well.
But it is,
and a client, if you're hiring a designer, a lot of people think that the designer is going to tell them what to do and push our designs on them, and that's not true at all. We spend a lot of time getting to know our clients and really digging deep to get them exactly the look that they want.
Yep.
And we spend hours of just planning.
Right. Well,
to
I develop relationships with my clients, so they can call me in a year and say, "Hey, Melinda, I need a picture for my bathroom wall. Remember when we did that and I did and I'll be like, oh yeah. And I don't even have to come out to their home.
Yeah.
I literally can figure it out without going to their home because I've been there so many times and I know their aesthetic and I know their look. It's like I'm a little design computer especially for that person.
And we always try to make a master plan when we start a project. So even if you're going to do something down the road, we have it all planned out so that the house looks cohesive and it doesn't look like it's been piecemealed together.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you won't have the budget to do everything all at once, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
But having a budget to start with, and even if you have to do phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, that's not a bad thing.
No.
But at least we know what we're going to get into down the road and make everything look cohesive,
absolutely,
timeless,
and classic, and just make it look like you. That's what we need. So that's what you want.
Yeah. So how do we sum up the value of an interior designer?
It is invaluable. It is invaluable. It's an invaluable service. It's like your nail person, your pedicurist. It's like you can't, like you get used to having that for you. And then you shouldn't be looking and spending all your time trying to figure this out on your own, because your time is more valued doing what you are good at. So let us do what we're good at and help you.
Yes. So
there you go. So
we're very great working with people of all different budgets, of all different sizes, of all different spaces, whether it's just furniture, whether you're going to rip out a kitchen, add an addition, redo a bathroom, build a new house. Please don't build a new house without calling a designer. Do not dig, do not start, because
and even if they have a design consultant,
if they have a design consultant
that works with them, you still might
call
want
a designer.
To call us too.
No, you might want to. You want to.
Oh yeah.
I've been a design consultant. I've seen the builder design consultants, and you end up only getting to pick out XXX. But I've had 2 projects recently where I had one already started digging, and then I was looking over the plans. There was no room. It was a 7, 8, 9 bedrooms. In their master bedroom, there was no solid wall to put a bed on. There was a door on every wall or a window, and I was like, you need to move one of these doors. And then I had another one that had the steps to go down to their walkout lower level. The stairs were, they were literally so steep, you would totally fall down them. And we caught
Crazy.
that when we were doing the rendering process.
Yeah.
And all I did was I made it do a little turn thing, and the builder was like, "Oh my God, thank God they caught that." And then on their third floor, the bedroom ceilings, because they had a sloped roof, the bedroom ceilings were only 6 feet.
Ooh.
At the end of the bed, it was only 4.5 feet, so we had to
wow.
raise the roof. And luckily, we caught that before they started construction.
I had a client I was working with building a house, and her design consultant, it was like a can. Like she would like pull things out of the can. She wasn't even listening to my client, like at all. And my client kept calling me saying, "Okay, she said X, Y, Z," and I'm like, "Absolutely not. You don't want to do that. But don't tell her I said that." You know, she hired me on the side to run things by me. You know, and she paid me by the hour just to run things by me that the design consultant was telling her, and I can't tell you how many times I had to undo that.
And we do that. We do that all the time to advise
frustrating.
people. We do advising.
Yeah, exactly.
We do it all.
So,
So make sure you follow. We have a Facebook group called the Design Exchange. Feel free to join it. You can follow me on Instagram at Danny Russo, just like it sounds. You can follow Melinda at
Fine Designs Int, INT.
on Instagram.
Facebook.
Make sure you subscribe to our podcast.
Right.
I'm on YouTube as Danny Russo, and I have all of our podcasts on there. I'm trying to get them separated and figuring out how to do
I
that.
think my YouTube is Melinda Elliott. So.
I have
Yep.
an online Amazon store now.
Oh,
so
that's right. That's
yeah,
right.
we're getting ready to launch an online store at DannyRusso.com, and we
And
have
my
our
website,
Amazon.
my website's finedesignsinteriors.com.
Isn't it also Shop FDI?
That's my gift shop. Yeah.
I'm DanielHelm.com.
So.
All right,
Anyway,
happy designing, and we hope you guys have a great weekend.